Alright, this is a video that is for everybody who's going to the trading academies that are going on in this beginning month of May. I've been learning how to trade for 3 years, and my first 2.5 years I was completely lost and I didn't know where to look. About my going on to my 3rd year, I learned about ICT concepts, and they are actually teaching me how the markets move. I actually am one with the markets. I understand the higher time frames are the best bias to pay attention to. So you gotta learn higher time frame even to trade lower time frame. You just have to learn how liquidity moves the markets. I went to these trading academy events. I went to the one that was near my house for the one day just to go and meet more people who are trying to get into trading. But I knew y'all were gonna be completely lost going to this trading event. So I went there just to invite y'all to a real trading event that is going tomorrow by a dude who's not gonna try to scam you. By a dude who makes $11 million and he's only 23 in his trades, yo. And he teaches 100% for free on YouTube. And he's hosting an event tomorrow in Manhattan for free. And he's not gonna try to sell you a course right afterwards. That's why I went to the Trading Academy, to tell y'all that these people are gonna waste your time for 3 hours and then try to sell you a bullshit course. And then there's no way that you're gonna learn how to trade in 3 days for $199, yo. They just do that bullshit just to take y'all's money, yo. Why would you be a profitable trader and charge people money, yo? You know how fucked up this world is? Dude, there's people who are actually good people like me. I would never try to sell you shit, yo. I would try to teach you as much as I know, yo. I'm on the precipice of my breakthrough with my trading, yo. So I'm getting everything locked in. My last month and a half has been more progressive than my last 3 years, but it's been actually gestating everything I've been learning. But so I'm gonna name off. This is for anybody who's getting into trading, but this is a message for mainly everybody who's going to these scams, these trading academy events that they're having right now, May 1st through May 10th, where they're just trying to bring you into a free class to teach you, waste your time for 3 hours, and then try to sell you a course that you're not gonna learn shit in 3 days. Learn how to trade. It takes way longer than fucking 3 days to learn how to do this shit, yo. Fuck, are they gonna sell you a course? They just wanna rip you off, yo. They're just trying to sell you some shit. All right, so real traders that you can learn from is ICT, Michael J. Huddleston. He is the most popular trader he's the most popular edge. Now, some of his students are actually more popular than him now because he is so boring. But if you really want to learn, you have to learn from the Inner Circle Trading. That's ICT on YouTube. Now, let me tell you something about trading. Trading has changed a lot in the last 20 years, yo. So all these old heads, they don't even know how to do all this like new chart stuff. So like if you're going to learn from a trader, the thing about Michael J. Huddleston is he's old enough to be an OG, but he's young enough to actually be caught up on the new trading edge too. And all these young cats, they know this trading a lot better than an old head now because it's trading off of charts, yo. They used to trade off of numbers, yo. But so ICT, he is the guy, yo. But he is so boring. He is so dry. And I've watched over 40 plus, 100 plus hours. And I've watched that same 100 plus hours again. Because it is so simple that it's so hard to grasp what's going on. But oh yeah, so then there's TJR. So ICT stands for Inner Circle Trading. That's by Michael J. Huddleston. Now, if you want to learn from somebody who's young and immature and makes fart jokes, because it's going to be that 23-year-old who is making fart jokes who's actually going to teach you how to trade better than anybody. Yo, now TJR, that stands for his name, Tyler something. But TJR is also an ICT trader. So he's going to teach you the boring man stuff first, so you can break it in before you really lock in on like the real dude. So TJR, just watch as much of his videos as you can. His path to profitability gave me my breakthrough, but I'm gonna tell y'all are not gonna watch that video first and then know what's happening. I watched that video and had a breakthrough because I've been learning everything for 3 years and he's teaching the same concepts. So it's just revealing more and more to me. But TJR, he's a real trader. He trades every single morning on Kick for free. He's never gonna charge you shit. Now here's the thing. Even when he trades on Kick, yo, he's taught me how to trade, but I've seen him break his own rules and not be patient And then I've seen myself been more patient and waited. So he's hopped off the charts. And then I stayed on the charts. And then I actually took a trade that was a winning trade. Made like $300 on it or whatever. And it goes to show you that just because TJR is teaching you doesn't mean he's better than you. Doesn't mean he's going to stick to the rules even more. Because everything is the art. So TJR taught me how to trade. But there's been times where I've seen him break his own rules. And I've seen myself been patient and actually stuck to what he taught me how to do. So no trader is perfect. Even if they're teaching you, they break their own rules too. So don't be confused when you're trading with somebody and you're like, you just taught me this, but you just did that. Because even a profitable trader will fuck up. So I'm starting to realize that I actually am probably better than the teachers who teach than TJR personally, because in my opinion, just because I could see myself being more disciplined and more patient. I think he's making so much money though. At the same time, he doesn't give a fuck to lose money and break his rules sometimes. So, but no, he's making like $700,000 a week. I'm over here fucking living off the government, yo. So, yo, I'm just saying he's taught me, and I've seen myself execute things better than him. But he's a great teacher, yo. He teaches you what it is in a fun way. And then another dude who came out a scammer, but he teaches ICT concepts still. Just know that you don't have to be profitable to teach. You can teach trading and not be a profitable trader, yo. But when you look at the markets from hindsight, that's hindsight. So you can teach stuff hindsight still, but it's about executing in the moment, yo. And but you can still teach it and not know what you're doing at all. So that's how a lot of people get away with this shit. But Justin Weirland, even though he came out a scammer, his videos are way less immature than TJR. TJR is super like immature, but he's fun and he'll actually teach you. And TJR is actually a real profitable trader, yo. Everything is expression. So do you think the skinny guy is gonna be, the skinny insecure guy is gonna be making all the money? Or you think that the motherfucker who is like, man, fuck this shit, I'm not going to fucking college and I'm actually like do shit, yo, and I'm actually making fucking money all the time, yo. It's the dude, everything's an expression, yo. So the traders you want to learn from, you don't want them to be pussy, yo. You want them to have some balls in between their legs, yo. So that's why I could have doubted Justin Weirland. But he will teach you well. So that's Justin Weirland. He teaches ICT, TJR, and Justin Weirland. And then find your own ICT traders to learn from that aren't the head guru. Go, there's many of them. Everybody has their own different style. ICT is just the principles. You can be a swing trader, a day trader, a scalper, spot trader, it doesn't matter. You learn the concepts. Everything is fractal. So everything the daily is doing, it's doing that on the 5 minute too. So once you got to learn the whole order flow throughout the markets, yo. Oh, and just to let y'all know how I know that dude is a fucking liar ass bitch, yo. Because at first I was like, I pulled up to tell y'all to not pay for their shit. No, to pay for their shit so you can spend some money, because $199 isn't that much to waste just to figure out that these people are scammers. That's actually good to spend some money to go to these bullshit places so you know that they're on bullshit, yo. So $199, y'all can waste that, because I've wasted way more on some motherfuckers. But I asked the dude after the trading seminar, I asked him what he traded, supply and demand or whatever. I tried to tell him, I said institutional levels. He told me that I don't know what institutional levels are. I know what institutional levels are. So I asked him, what do you think about ICT? He said, I don't know, blah, 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 blah. ICT knows what he's doing, yo. He's a fucking scammer. So at first I was trying to give him benefit of the doubt. I was trying to be like, all right, I'm not trying to be like, fuck that guy. But after talking to him and him telling me that I don't know what institutional numbers are, the institutional numbers are the numbers on the side. So people in Wall Street, yo, they're not typing in 5.8, 680, 6.993, 222, da da da. The people on Wall Street, they use big figure numbers. So that makes it easier. So they're just putting in the hundreds, the 20s. They want to order at the 50s, the 80s, and then back to the hundreds. Those are institutional levels. Is the hundreds, the 20s, the 50s, the 80s, and then it's going to be back at the next set of hundreds, 20s, 50s, 80s, vice versa. It goes from the hundreds to the 20s, to the 20s to the 50s, to the 50s to the 80s, to the 50s to the hundreds. It goes from the hundreds to the 50s, but it's going to pass the 20s, of course, on the way. That's how the markets move. People on Wall Street, they move the markets for real. So they just put in easy numbers. It's easier for them to type, 100 or 820 or 850 or 880 than it is for them to put in all those like random numbers. So that's why institutional numbers are a thing. And the fact that he tried to tell me that ICT was some and that I didn't know what institutional orders were, that's how I know he's bullshit, yo. So I'm telling y'all, my channel right now is about my journey. It's not an educational channel. It's about me progressing and becoming closer to being a profitable trader every day. I'm not gonna sit here and try to sell y'all a course, and then when I do become profitable, I'm still gonna direct y'all to the main source, because the main source is really where you need to learn, yo. And I'm never gonna try to sell anything, yo, because a real ass person isn't gonna try to sell you, and they're making $1,000 every single day, $11 million a month. Some of these folks, yo. Why would I try to sell you something when I know I got a mission by God to be here to help people get rich? That don't make any sense, yo. So, and when I die, I'm gonna have a SEP 401k. I'm gonna put $200 away every single month. Over 40 years, that's gonna compound to 1.5 million. I'm not even gonna touch that. I'm gonna leave it in a trust, and I'm gonna let it compound for another 150 years. Then I'm gonna tell my family that they can only pull out 5% of the year's gains every 5 years. And then in Tennessee, you can have a trust for 360 years. So I'm gonna let my money compound 360 years after I die. And that's gonna turn into $1 trillion in 400 years after I'm dead. And I'm gonna have a Jewish lawyer. I'm gonna find a good Jewish family I can become close with. And I'm gonna make sure that money, I'm gonna build shelters, but not like men's shelters. Like places where people can go and stay if they wanna become elite and rich. And everything is gonna be paid for by my compounding trust fund that I'm gonna leave behind for my family. So there's people like that, and that's how real people move, yo. They don't teach you this shit in school because they built this country off of slavery, yo. All the information is really gatekept. And then a lot of people, they just don't care to go look up this shit. A lot of people go to work and they're on their phone the whole time, and then they don't save their money in a Roth IRA. And they work their ass off, but they don't put their money somewhere where it's gonna compound, like the SP 500. So a lot of people are just retarded, yo. A lot of people just don't give a fuck. And then you can try to tell people the truth, but the second you show someone that they're actually like a real king or a queen, and they're actually times a billion, a trillion more they're worth, they're gonna shut down and they're gonna start to hate you because they don't wanna accept that they're actually worth more. So they'd rather live a life of comfort where they're just living in the system as a puppet than to actually break through and actually realize, yo, all you have to do is save $200 a month and you have $1.3 million in 40 years. You can save $580 in a Roth IRA every month, $7,000 a year if you're under 50, yo. They don't teach you this shit. That's the simplest thing. You could fucking work at McDonald's and save in a Roth IRA and you'd still retire with the fucking $1 million. You can go donate your blood plasma at Oldham Life and make $540 every month donating your blood plasma and put it in a Roth IRA and invest it in the SP 500, and your blood plasma that you've been donating is now fucking $2.6 million, yo. So if you don't have enough money to save that $200 every month, on those months when you don't have that extra $200 to put away, even though you really fucking should, you're playing with your fucking life if you don't, then go donate your blood plasma and put that shit in the SP 500 so you can continue to put that $200 away every single month. Because you're successful as soon as you start saving in a Roth IRA. If you're not saving your money where it's compounding interest, you're just working for nothing. You're working to spend your money and waste it on alcohol and waste it on bullshit, yo. You have to save. As soon as you save, no matter what you do, you are successful, yo. As long as it's compounding. Even when I start making $1,000 a day, I'm gonna live below my means, and I'm gonna save my money in the Roth for 5 years, and I'm only gonna pull out money every 5 years, and I'm only gonna pull the money out to pay off the credit cards and the loans I'm using against my Roth, yo. But this was just a video for everybody who's going to the Trading Academy events. They're all bullshit, and Trades by Sai is having a free event tomorrow, May 6th. There's gonna be real traders there. He's actually gonna teach real concepts. I don't trade Trades by Sai's method, but I know he's valid, yo. He's actually a real person who teaches for free. and you could tell he cares, yo. And he's never gonna try to charge you a thing, yo. 100% for free on YouTube. Why would a millionaire? Well, he's actually up 100 million. Why would somebody who has $100 million charge you to learn how to trade? And you know how fucked up the world is, and you're gonna try to gatekeep that information. That don't make any sense. But yeah, so that's tomorrow, and then I'm gonna post another video that's gonna be like a more broader, like how to get into this. But this video was mainly dedicated just to people who are going to the Trade Academy events in New York in the beginning of May. They are scammers. They just want your money, and they're not gonna teach you shit in those 3.5 hours. Bro, that dude took 3 hours to waste my fucking time. I didn't learn a single thing, yo. And I was shitting on him, yo. That dude, and you know how I know his trade was bullshit? Because he said, should we close the trade? I said, you should close half of it. Because you know, if you're risking $2 to make $6, by the time you're up $4, if you close half of the position, that means you're only risking $2 now. No, that means you're only risking $1. Hold on. I'm trying to, this is simple shit. Hold up. All right, this is why it's important to take partials. If you're risking $2 to make $6, it's better to close half of the position off at a 1-to-1. So as soon as that $2 is at $4, take $2 out. So now you're not risking $2 anymore. You're only risking $1. And if you lose, wait, hold up. This is simple. And if you lose that $1, hold up. This is something simple. I'm just glitching right now. All right, so you got $2 and you want to make $6 or whatever. Well, let's say, all right, hold up, because the ratio is really going to be a 1.5 to 1. But all right, if you got $2 at risk and and then you go up to $4, but you still got $2 at risk. Oh no, I gotta do this a little bit bigger. Hold up, I'm confused. This is something real simple. All right, you got $2 at risk, and then you see it go up in the green, $2. Now you're up $2, but you're risking $2. So if you pull out $1, now you've made $1. And since you pulled out that $1, you're no longer risking $2. Now you're only risking $1. So now that's why you take partials. So now you are risking $1. You've made $1 already. So even if you lose that $1, you lost $1, but you made $1. So that's break even. That's why you take a partial. And that dude didn't even teach taking partials. He said, should we close it or should we leave it? I said close half of the position, because if he would have closed half of the position right there, 2 of those 4 contracts, he would have took all the risk off the table, and then he could have moved the stop loss to break even, or he could have left it, it doesn't matter. But he would have took the risk off. That's how I knew he wasn't a real trader, because why wouldn't you close half of it? Why wouldn't you teach taking partials? You're gonna leave the risk on the table? No, take the risk off the table. And the institutional level. So that's how I know he wasn't a real trader, he was a scammer. And that's why I'm coming to these events and telling y'all to go to the event tomorrow, because I knew that he was a scammer and that all these are bullshit, and that I know y'all are trying to learn how to trade and that they're gonna try to charge y'all money and take advantage of y'all. But there's actually too much information on YouTube for free. You can learn everything on YouTube for free, and you could read books, yo. That's where all the information is, yo. And people are making money off of their YouTube videos, so that's fine. Yo, what's wrong with someone making money off of their YouTube videos? They actually want to charge you though, because they know that they're not gonna have enough content to keep y'all paying so much attention to. So they just want to finesse you once out of 3 days, just so you can't even understand what the fuck you learned in the last 3 days, realistically. All right, but that was my little video. It was longer than I wanted it to be.